At a bustling Estonian high school, the basketball court is ablaze with action, but poor Joseph is struggling to keep up. His teammates aren't making it any easier, hurling insults faster than basketballs. When the spotlight moment comes, Joseph chokes under the pressure of their taunts and misses the shot, opening the floodgates for even more locker room mockery. Picture this, they even undress him and lock him in the girls' changing room. Talk about a tough day. Luckily, the girls are allies in this chaos, helping him escape. Meanwhile, a drama brews among the boys. Anders and Casper are practically at each other's throats over a closed door. Casper, the peacemaker, tries to clear the air with Rena and Thea at a party plan, but Thea's not having any of it and shuts him down with a cold dose of reality. Back at home, Joseph's father, the ex-military man, is all guns and ammo, offering a father-son bonding session at the shooting range. But Joseph's mom steps in before things can get too Rambo. As his dad probes about school, Joseph puts on his best poker face, claiming all is well in the halls of academia. And then, as if today wasn't odd enough, his father hands him $500 and heads out. Talk about family dynamics. Get ready for twists and shouts at Rena's party house. In the midst of chaos, when Thomas fumbled and sent a plate crashing to the ground, Casper was having his own melodrama at home. Frustrated by a squabble with Thea and a tough chat with his grandmother, who hinted that Thea might not be the one, Casper was ready to bounce. Just in time, a text from Thea pinged his phone, party invite. Apologies exchanged with Grandma, he dashed to join the fun. At the party, while Anders morphed into Dance King, entertaining everyone with his killer moves, Casper whipped up the crowd even more, challenging Thomas to showcase his epic rap dance. But wait, the plot thickens. Sneaky Casper and Thea slipped away to the bathroom for some us time. Just as they were about to dive into a makeup kiss, in barged Anders. Can you believe the timing? Interrupted, yet again.
Well, folks, let me paint you a picture of high school drama at its finest. Just when Thea and Casper were having a moment, in swoops T with a reminder about a massage promise. Talk about a vibe killer. This stirred up a ruckus between Anders and Casper. All because Casper let Joseph out of the girls' changing room. Thea, playing peacemaker, urged Casper to head back to the party. But oh no, Anders wasn't having it and followed them out, fuming over what he saw as a betrayal. Then, things got spicy. Casper threw down the gauntlet, questioning Anders' hero complex. A full-on showdown ensued, and as Casper strutted out, Anders tossed a juicy "This isn't over" into the mix. Drama, drama, drama. The next morning, in class, while everyone was toying with coins, Casper found his desk turned upside down. Classic prank, right? As if on cue, the teacher marched in, homework in mind. Casper opted for a seat next to Joseph, but no, the universe had other plans. Someone snagged Joseph's notebook and, like a hot potato, it was out of reach. The teacher, unamused, cracked down, making everyone stand up for the whole lesson until the notebook was returned. Except Joseph, he got a free pass. But would you believe it? Those rebels didn't budge. Homework drama turned standoff. Oh, high school, never a dull moment.
Well, class was a real thriller today. Just as the bell rang and the teacher dashed off, Joseph found himself cornered by a gaggle of goons, hell-bent on teaching him a lesson. They weren't just after apologies, oh no, they wanted to strike fear with threats of daily beatdowns. Meanwhile, Casper was all set to make his exit, but oh boy, Anders just had to toss an insult his way too. Cue the dramatic return of the teacher who shipped them all off to the principal's office, starting with Paul. Now, here's the juicy bit. As Paul saunters back from the principal's lair, he leans into Casper and mutters a secret. In the hot seat himself, Casper plays dumb initially. But wait, as soon as he learns Paul spilled the beans, he points the finger right back. Too bad the principal is wearing those "Paul is perfect" glasses, dismissing our boy Casper's claims faster than you can say expulsion. Back in class, Paul and Anders turn into a mockery duo, while Casper finds a cryptic note from Thea slid under his desk. But tight-lipped, he keeps the drama under wraps. That night at home, oh, one can only imagine the storm brewing in his mind.
Ah, what a day at school for Anders, Thomas, and the gang. So here's the scoop. Anders and Thomas zip to the classroom, with Thomas playing watchdog at the door, eagerly awaiting Joseph's grand entrance. Everyone's buzzing, thinking Joseph is about to get his comeuppance. But wait, Joseph freezes at the threshold, and Thomas, Oh dear Tumas. He's not budging an inch, playing the stern guardian in what he deems a fitting punishment for Joseph.
Just as the tension hits its peak, boom, Casper steps up like a knight in shining armor, calling out Tumas to back off and let Joseph pass. Amidst this heroic standoff, a scuffle ensures, and Casper craftily creates a gap for Joseph to slip through, sending Tumas tumbling down just as the teacher waltzes in to begin the lesson.
But the drama doesn't end there. Our friend Paul flicks a note at Casper filled with zingers and a not-so-friendly reminder that their feud is far from over. Post-lesson, the teacher casually asks Casper and Joseph to lock up, unknowing of the impending chaos waiting outside.
As the duo steps out, bam, it's go time. The boys corner them, isolating Casper and launching an assault on Joseph, kicking him till he's down and even snipping his shoelaces. The crowd jeers and jests as they saunter off to their next class, leaving Joseph to shuffle into his next session in nothing but his socks.
Oh, the drama in the classroom. When the teacher probed about his missing shoes, Joseph spilled the beans about the other boys playing the old toss the shoes game. Imagine the scene, it left him shoeless and the subject of relentless teasing for his lack of flashy brand name gear. In a fit of defiance, Joseph dramatically ripped the label from his shirt. Enter our hero, Casper. Not just content with asking how Joseph would limp back home, he delivered Joseph's shoes right to him, barefoot no less. How's that for loyalty? Then he upped the ante by offering Joseph some snazzy branded sneakers for the road. Later, when Casper caught up with Thea, he confessed he just couldn't watch Joseph get bulldozed by bullies any longer. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Grandma was in the loop too. She questioned Casper's whereabouts only to hit him with the bombshell about a call from the school concerning Joseph's notebook. Despite Casper's best efforts to clarify, Grandma had her fill of the school gossip. And on the other side of town, Joseph's dad checked in, worried about this mysterious Casper character. But Joseph, standing firm, assured him, "Casper's all good, Dad. Now that's what I call a friend." Oh boy, let me tell you about the drama that unfolded at school today. So, Joseph's dad, right? All fired up, couldn't believe that his son was being picked on by, not one, not two, but the entire class. He's all like, "Son, you gotta stand up for yourself. Show, you're not someone to mess with." Classic tough love. Fast forward to the next day, Joseph and his buddy Casper roll into school, both with their brand labels stripped off their jackets, talk about being rebels. Things get spicy real quick. The moment Anders, the class bully, lays a finger on Joseph, Casper jumps into the fray like a knight in shining armor, except he grabs a chair instead of a sword. Just as chairs are about to fly, who walks in? Yup, the teacher. Perfect timing, right? She breaks up the fight, but then gets all detective-like, asking Casper if he's on board with Joseph's no labels manifesto. And as if that wasn't enough drama for one day, Anders is like, "Meet me at the playground." Oh, it's on. Could this day get any more epic? Stay tuned, folks. So, there we were, in the thick of it. Casper, ready to ditch his average Joe badge, was suddenly outfoxed by Paul, Thomas, and Olaf. Picture this, poor Jupe, cornered and clobbered in a crumbling shed, while Casper, helpless, watches. Oh, the drama. As Casper's told by Anders, "Back off, or it gets worse for Joseph," you can almost hear the ominous music play. Then, as if right on cue, Joseph swings by Casper's pad, all cool and collected, pressing Casper to stop playing the hero. Casper, half joking, suggests Jupe could pull a fast one by climbing the moral high ground, but nope, Jupe's playing the long game, suffer now, sprint to freedom later. And as if things weren't spicy enough, enter Thea, fuming over the class's latest gossip. Turns out, they've got Casper and Jupe in a romantic subplot. Who needs soap operas when you've got real life, right?
Oh, the drama unfolds in waves. Casper, poor chap, drowns in stress, and when he tries to soothe Thea, his good intentions backfire spectacularly. She thinks he's more juiced about Juup than her hurt feelings. So, she hits the brakes on their friendship. Meanwhile, juicy gossip from school. Joseph, another drama king, rocks up at home looking like he's gone 10 rounds in a boxing ring. Lena, his eagle-eyed mom, spots the bruises and demands the scoop. But Joseph? He zips it tight, and Dad's riding shotgun on the secrecy train. Frustrated yet undeterred, Lena plays detective with the school admins, and bam, the whole class gets detention. The plot thickens. Jewup, scared stiff, bolts home. Trust Margus, the dad, to go all Karate Kid on Joseph, teaching him a snazzy new punch to level up his self-defense game. Revenge is brewing. Casper and Joseph get tricked into a beach party setup. Oh, and it's not the fun kind. Stay tuned for more beach drama and busted knuckles.
Hold on to your hats, folks, because this tale takes a wild turn at the beach. After a chaotic arrival and some peer pressure gone wrong, Thea dumps Casper in a very public spectacle. Poor Casper, he's fuming. But wait, it gets messier. In a Hulk smash moment, Casper lunges at Anders, only for Anders to whip out a knife, yes, a real knife. As tensions skyrocket, Anders and company force Casper into an unthinkable act, all while someone sneakily snaps photos. Post-drama, Casper's rocked to his core and left hurling on the sands, while his so-called friends ditch him. Meanwhile, with a plot brewing in his head, Jupe turns into a midnight ninja, snagging pistols and a rifle from his dad's gun safe. Roll on morning, and Casper's feeling the guilt heavy on his heart, earning a much-needed hug and forgiveness from his gran. But hang on, because this roller coaster isn't done yet. Armed to the teeth, Casper and Yusuf strut into school, turning heads as students and teachers spot the arsenal. Stay tuned, because this story's just heating up. Alright folks, hold on to your hats because today's tale is not just dark, it's pitch black with a twist of chaos. Picture this, JP and Casper, our anti-heroes, totally ignored a teacher who was snooping around, basically telling her, hey, why don't you dial 911? Meanwhile, Curly, the goth observer, didn't lift a finger, just watched it all go down like a scene from a movie. Now, we dive into the action. JP and Casper storm into school targeting those mean bullies. JP was like a cowboy, bang. Shoot stay at point blank range. And oh, Casper, turns out he's a sharpshooter, but not too sharp since he accidentally popped a bullet into an 8th grader. Oopsie daisy. But wait, there's more. As chaos erupts, Tumis tries to be the hero snagging the gun from Jeep but winds up short. Talk about bad luck. Amidst all this madness, Anders and Paul pounce on Jeep, wrestling away his rifle. Just as you think it's game over for Jeep, Casper jumps in, not so fast, and bam. Paul's down. Anders, probably thinking, I've got to get out of here, tries to make a run for it but alas, shot in the shoulder. Casper tries but no bullets left. Classic blunder. Yet here comes Jeep, finishing off the job. What a mad world we just peeked into. Now, who's up for some popcorn after that story?